Today is February 14th, and that means Happy Valentine's Day to all of my lovely galactites. I hope you take a chance today to say I love you to someone special, whether that is a family member, a friend, a pet, or a lover, or anyone. And does it get much more lovely than space? No, it does not, and I will prove it to you today by talking about some of the most lovely and romantic images of our cosmos. This is perhaps an obvious first choice, but this is the aptly named Heart Nebula, aka IC 1805. This is an emission nebula, which means what we're seeing is light being emitted by ionized gases. And in this case, those gases are ionized by the hot young stars at the cluster at the center of this nebula, Melotte 15. This image was taken in 4 filters that capture the wavelengths of the hydrogen beta, oxygen 3, hydrogen alpha, and sulfur 2 emission lines. We can go into the details of atomic emission lines another time. The Heart Nebula is located about 7,500 light years away in the constellation Cassiopeia. This NASA image zooms us out to see the nebula in the infrared, and you can see some distant galaxies that are blocked in visible light by the dust from the nebula. Pretty cool. Now, roses are definitely a part of many Valentine's Day traditions, and this nebula does not want to be left out. This is Caldwell 49, called the Rosette Nebula. The Rosette Nebula is a hydrogen 2 region, which is a type of emission nebula that's primarily made up of, you guessed it, hydrogen. This image is basically showing us H-alpha, but you can see a different perspective by this image that's colorized with not only the H-alpha, but also the sulfur 2 and oxygen 3 emission lines. For a very different view, the ESO's Very Large Telescope captured this image of the Rosette Nebula using broadband optical filters. The Rosette Nebula is located about 5,000 light years away in the constellation Monoceros. If you're feeling a bit more serious this Valentine's Day, maybe I can interest you in the Diamond Ring Nebula, or I should say nebulae because there are actually 2. These nebulae, Able 33 and Able 70, get that description thanks to photobombs that are located in just the right position to appear like sparkling diamonds at the edge of the circular nebulae. These are both planetary nebulae, which is actually kind of a confusing term because it has nothing to do with planets, but these are actually the beautiful dying throes of stars. These stars are in the process of shedding their envelopes in these beautiful displays of hot gas and dust, and eventually they will leave behind only the stellar cores, which will be white dwarfs. Able 33 is located about 2,700 light years away in the constellation Hydra, and it is a star that gives it its beautiful diamond. Able 70 is located about 15,000 light years away in the constellation Aquila, and it's actually a distant galaxy that gives it its diamond. A little closer to home, we have this adorable heart on the dwarf planet Pluto. This image is thanks to the amazing New Horizons probe, which flew by Pluto in 2015, and actually the heart was identified in the very first image ever from that flyby. The heart is officially named the Tombaugh Regio in honor of Clyde Tombaugh, who is the American astronomer that discovered Pluto back in 1930. The heart is actually 2 separate regions. The western half is called Sputnik Planitia, and it's actually a basin that's filled with mostly nitrogen ice, while the eastern half is more of a highland region that has these nitrogen glaciers that are actually feeding down into the basin. This heart feature is so large that it actually dominates the wind circulation in Pluto's thin atmosphere, and it contains enough mass in that nitrogen ice that it actually slightly tilts Pluto's balance so that this point is the point that is always looking at the tidally locked moon Charon. Aww. In case you didn't know, NASA actually has a plethora of absolutely adorable, printable, space-themed Valentine's Day cards. I am pretty partial to the exoplanet ones because, of course, I'm a little bit biased, but there are other ones. So happy Valentine's Day to you. Thank you so much for loving and supporting me, and I hope you get a chance to celebrate some love in your life today. Have a good one. Bye!